Once again, as a reminder, data science and mathematics, very smart things to study in Germany. We have 4 programs on master's levels, and for dear guests, once again, thank you very much. Now, I will skip all of these things because you will still receive my presentation on Monday as a follow-up, and use this virtual mic right away to Dr. Ronald Stover from University Bremen. And he'll be talking about industrial mathematics and data analysis study program. And I want to mention that proudly I'm a graduate of University of Bremen as well, which is a nice place to stay. And I'm sure the other universities are even also very nice.
For the nice words, in particular for your words on Bremen. I agree with you. It's a nice place to live and to study. My name is Ronald Stover. I'm from the University of Bremen, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you our master program on industrial mathematics and data science. Just a few words about our university. We have about 18,000 students, so on a German scale, I would call it middle size. But almost 1 of 6 students is an international one. Part of our university is faculty number 3 on mathematics and computer science. And in mathematics altogether, we have 20 working groups, about 20 professors working in analysis, in algebra, and statistics, and last but not least, on industrial mathematics in our center called 𝘱𝘢. But probably you're more interested in our master program. So you can graduate as a Master of Science. It's an international program. Everything is in English. It's planned for 4 semesters. However, many of our students take more than 4 semesters. So it's not necessary to finish within 4. Let me mention 2 things right now. Almost everything, of course, is connected to industrial mathematics data analysis. However, included is a minor subject of 12 credit points. And due to this, you need some knowledge from your bachelor studies in physics or in computer science or in engineering as well. I will come back to this on the next slide. And some more details I will give on what we call the modeling project in a minute. So what are the prerequisites for studying here in Bremen? Of course, most important is your strong interest in mathematics. The idea of our program is to develop new methods, new mathematical methods, and apply them to real-world problems. Just to tell you a little bit about one particular problem, it's called digital pathology. And some of my former students or now colleagues, they built a startup recently, a new company with 9 employees right now on this topic on digital pathology. They develop mathematical methods by machine learning in particular for analyzing skin cancer. And they produce software that can be used by medical doctors working, or let's say working with people with skin scare. So this is a typical example what we are doing and what our students get involved and what our students can learn. To be more formal, the most important prerequisites, all applicants need at least 90 credit points in mathematics from their undergraduate, from their bachelor studies. When I say 90 credit points, I mean credit points regarding the so-called ECTS, European Credit Point Transfer System. And I mentioned this technical subject, this minor subject, for example, physics or computer science. So the second prerequisite is you need at least 24 of these credit points in physics or computer science or engineering. Regarding the languages, you need level B2 in English plus level A1 in German, which is not really hard. And you do not need the certificates for that already at the day of application. These certificates on language can be submitted later. This is the slide I promised before. What is the so-called modeling project in our program? It's going on in the typically second and third semester, so over 1 year. Teams of 2 students are working on a real-world problem. And by real-world problem, we are talking about the problem given by a company or an institute, one of our partners. It's not a textbook problem that has been solved already. It's really a new problem, and the company or the institute is really interested in the results that our students get out. So 1 year time, a lot of time for working. And during this time, the students are doing typical what we call industrial mathematics. Understand the problem given by the company or the institute, build a mathematical model for this, or develop a new one or enhance an existing mathematical model, and then work with the mathematical model. So analyze it mathematically and develop algorithms, implement algorithms for performing numerical simulations on the computer. And the outcome of all this, in the end, your results that you have obtained, you are giving back to the company or the institute. That's the idea of our modeling project. To mention one example, as you can see at the bottom of the slide, 1 year ago, or finished just recently in early 24, was performed by 𝘱𝘢𝘕𝘓𝑚 and Arpit Pagadal, 2 Indian students. They did it together with Bosch company, and their topic was called physics-informed neural networks for injection molding. Whatever injection molding means in detail, I think right now it's just important to see this as a typical task from industrial engineering. And the idea of the modeling project was to get data analysis involved for simulations of this injection molding. And not only neural networks, classical neural networks, what the students used and enhanced was so-called physics-informed neural networks. So I'm mentioning this example because I guess it's a really good example for demonstrating the combination of industrial mathematics and data analysis for real-world problems. I do not go in details about our program, altogether 120 credit points, a master thesis at the end, the minor subject, a lot of mathematical lectures and seminars, and in particular this modeling project with 15 credit points out of 120. So this is already my last slide. I will not go into the details where some of our graduates are working now. You can see some companies, some well-known companies like Apple or Volkswagen, but as well middle-sized companies, which are quite important here in Germany, like Just Add AI, which is a company here in Bremen. And as the name gives, they are concentrating on new methods in AI, and they have altogether something like, let's say, 60 employees, and 5 of these 60 are graduates from our program. Okay, so maybe my last 2 remarks. If you are interested, if I got you interested in our program, Industrial Mathematics and Data Analysis here in Bremen, please visit our website, the web link given here in the presentation. There you can find many, many details, how to apply, what are the prerequisites, and all this stuff. And when you have gone through this page and you still have more and individual questions, please send an email to me or to my colleague Lars Siemer. And as Nino mentioned before, the slides I have shown right now will send to you by email, I guess, next week. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope I got you interested, and I'm keen on your questions in a few minutes. So have fun with industrial mathematics and data analysis, and enjoy the next presentations.
Thank you very much for the presentation, all the details. Yes, I think there are some questions, so at least some of the students were interested, which is nice. And now we move to another exciting place to study in Germany, which is 𝘗𝘪𝘵𝘩𝘪𝘳𝑚𝑚 Freiberg, and another master's program in mathematics for data and resource sciences, which will be presented by Professor Dr. Markus Waurig. So the next 15 minutes are for you.
So I'm happy to introduce the master's program of mathematics for data and resource sciences here at the Technical University Bergakademie Freiberg. And in order to get you the most important information up front, so how to apply, go to this webpage and hit the apply now button. The deadlines are the 15th of April for the winter semester and the 15th of September for summer semester. And the admission requirements are a bachelor's in mathematics or a comparable subject. We ask you to provide a letter of motivation of one A4 page long. Some English abilities should be there that are presented via having successfully managed to get more than 90 points at the TOEFL test or IELTS with a grade of more than 6.5 or a comparable thing. And then we ask you to have a qualification interview where we check again your motivation. And the qualification interview will be performed with about 15 minutes length. And then we're going to assess whether we are positive that you are able to study this exciting program I'm presenting right now. I'm the Dean of Studies, and as before, in the University of Bremen, everything also applies to other places. So if you have questions, just write me an email or write an email to the Central Student Counseling if you have a more general question that is not particularly related to the program. Why should you study in Freiberg? Well, Freiberg is a research-intensive university, and ranging from the third-party income per professor, it's in the top 10 of the German universities. It is globally recognized as a resource university, has a strong interdisciplinary background, and has a rich tradition. So Alexander von Humboldt was studying here, and also the two elements, germanium and indium, have been discovered in Freiberg. And it goes back up until 1765. And yeah, and there's several milestones. I'm not going to go through with you in detail, but just to have a glimpse of a historical framework here. We have 6 faculties, and in the first faculty we are mathematics and computer science, and this is where you will be taught about mathematics in data and resource sciences mostly. In all 6 faculties, we have 89 professors, 6 junior professors, and 32 institutes. And we also have a stronger European background where we have stronger collaborations with 8 other universities that are assembled in the so-called Eurica Pro program. And so even if you might just study mathematics for data and resource sciences, you have the opportunity to meet people from several other universities from around Europe in this point. We are family-friendly university, and we can arrange for all for things that you might need. So if I have a student from Afghanistan and he has issues with childcare and these kind of things, and these could be arranged using support from the university and all these other things. So if you are interested, then we can certainly arrange for anything helping you in problems. We have a huge sports complex, and in the sports complex we also do individual sporting events. A professor in my institute, he's organizing regularly ice skating, and he was also taking part in a figure skating course arranged from the University of Freiberg. And University of Freiberg is ranked 380th in this worldwide ranking, and it is ranked first and second in certain subclasses in German rankings. So it's a highly recognized university, even though it's not very big. And if you want to do properly studying mathematics for data and resource sciences, you're going to see a very friendly atmosphere. We are not the biggest university, and we're also not a medium-sized university, but being a little bit smaller than others has certainly some advantages, and being also situated in a smaller town in Saxony, it also means that the living costs are not that high. So the rent ranges from 220 or up until 415, everything included in the student dormitories, and so the living expenses are not very high. So it's very attractive so to be here, and we have 9 study programs. This is just a formal thing that you can gauge where we are at, and about a third students of the students proportion that are that started the study programs in 2023 are from mathematics and the natural sciences. Yeah, so how is the structure of our study program? So we have in total 4 semesters. The first semester starts mid-October, or if you do summer, then it's about 1st of April. And there's also specializations that are recognized in geomathematics and mathematical data science, which you can choose during your study, but you don't need to choose any of them. It's perfectly fine if you just want to do your master's in data and resource sciences. And apart from some mandatory and electives, there's a possibility of reducing the load of the master's thesis by doing an industrial internship for about 4 months length. And this reduced master's thesis, so you will be getting not a lesser involved problem, because you already had some liaisons with a local industry. And if you ask how to actually achieve that, well, there's some possibilities that you can use at the University of Freiberg, where all these things that are mentioned here can be achieved. And the main thing I want to mention is the last thing here. So the 𝘗𝘀, it's a regularly happening fair where industrial partners from the University of Freiberg present themselves, and the students can go there and talk to those people and get an internship position or a job or something like that. Okay, if you're high-flying performer in the studies, you can obviously also do doctorates in mathematics with our professors here. And there's a strong international component at the University of Freiberg. And you see, this is the some picture of how the international students are partitioned in other university. And a big chunk is from Ukraine. Those people are mostly studying online, so you won't see so many of them. But all the other people you're gonna run in regularly. So it's a fairly international environment, and I enjoyed it a lot being part of that. Yeah, so there's some basic facts about partner universities. And maybe you even think, well, you have an adventure going to Germany, studying here, and then you want to have a further adventure in studying a master's semester at another university, maybe, then this is certainly possible that we can arrange for that. Yeah, and we recently built and are currently expanding our excellent infrastructure. So with very modern laboratories, and a very old laboratory, actually. So we have also a mine where you can do research. And if you do, and so the people from the computer science department, for instance, they had a PhD thesis where they discussed how to distribute Wi-Fi routers in mines so that you can actually access internet. And it was funny, a couple of months back, we did a tour through the mines of Freiberg, and at some point I had eduroam access, which was very nice, so I could phone up everyone in 150 meter under the ground. So that was very exciting. We recently had rebuilt our university library with fantastic facilities to study, and and new laboratories, particularly in chemistry. Yeah, so I will stop with the same thing as I started with. You can apply in this webpage and hit the Apply Now button. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor, for the details. Dear attendees, to help you with the clicking on the button, it's already in chat. You can also check out the career method that was shared by Professor. The link is also in chat, and admission requirements as well. And contact details for both previous for the study program from Bremen and the current one are also in chat, so feel free to directly get in contact with them. And now I will share my screen and give the floor to the next speaker. As ever, thank you everybody for taking into account the time, as it's very nice. Thank you. So the next speaker will be presenting another master's program. Is from Masters in Project Management Data Science, and it's HTW Berlin University of Applied Science, and we have Silke Sedelis who will be presenting the program. All the time the location is on the map, just a brief overview, but as you saw, all speakers do also mention about their cities, so that's why I don't stress that too much. So please.
Thanks very much, Nina, for the warm introduction, and welcome everybody to this webinar. I'm really happy you're here and interested. So I come from the Hochschule für Technik und Wirtschaft Berlin, 𝘱𝘱𝘳 Berlin, which is a University of Applied Sciences. I will come back to that later on. My name is Silke Sedelis. I'm the program manager of the master's program that you have already heard about, which is the Masters in Project Management and Data Science. And I will try and give you a short introduction about our university. It's the largest university of applied sciences in Berlin. We have 5 faculties and 80-degree programs with about 14,000 students, of which about 3,000 are internationals. We have about 300 professors and 800 associate lecturers and roughly 3,000 graduates every year. So it's a sizable university. If you don't come from Germany, you might not yet have heard of a distinction that is special to the German university landscape. We distinguish between research-oriented universities, and you have heard about that earlier, and universities of applied sciences, which follow a practice-oriented academic approach that is geared towards market demands. So at a University of Applied Sciences, you'll find professors with rich industry experience. There is a focus on practical exercises, workshops, and case studies. There are many cooperations with companies and internships in place. And you can also write your master's thesis at companies. So this all really adds up to high employability. And I will again come back to that later on. But this is not just me saying this, it's also our rankings reflect this. For example, in the 𝘱𝘱𝘳𝘵, which is a leading business journal in Germany, HR managers of the biggest German companies rank HTW Berlin study programs as among the best industry-oriented study programs in German universities of applied sciences. So we repeatedly and continuously get very good rankings. For example, in the Wirtschaftswoche. At HTW Berlin, you will find a number of international master's programs. This is just to give you an idea in case you are looking for something else. So we have a division of continuing education, where also the project management and data science program that I will get into in more detail in a minute. But there's also other faculties with international master's programs, which are all taught in English. But today, as I said, I will introduce you to the Project Management and Data Science Masters. And just to give you a very short overview, in this program, you can earn a Master of Science. It's a 4-semester program with 120 ECTS, taught fully in English, no German required. Although, of course, we support you if you want to learn German. One specialty is that you have the option to study online or on campus, and you can also switch between modes, and I will I will explain about that in a minute. There's a tuition fee of 70,600 euros for the full 4-semester program. And on the right-hand side, you can see some of the things that our students really value about the program. And that is, for one, the dual competence in data analysis and project management. Also, that there are small classes of maximum 40 students. And still, you have 16 or more nationalities in every class. So it's a very multinational environment, which of course is also true for Berlin as a whole. It's a very multinational and vibrant city that you would be studying in. And last but not least, you have excellent career prospects when you graduate from our program. So just to give you an idea of how the program works, it's, as I said, a 4-semester program, and we are open to students from different backgrounds. So you do need a bachelor's, but not necessarily in data analytics or project management. So what the program does is bring you up from scratch to eye level with experts in a very short time. And that means that in the first semester, you will start with foundational courses in both data analytics and project management, and then go on to advanced courses in the second semester. And this will be, there's also additional courses, associated subjects such as business law, data governance, change management, and leadership and communication skills. And then in the third semester, you will deepen and apply your what you learned in the first 2 semesters with many practical applications, although there are practical applications and case studies, etc., also in the first 2 semesters, as I said before, since it's as an University of Applied Sciences, there's a focus on practice orientation. And in the 4th semester, you will write your master's thesis unless you decide to have a gap semester, which about half of our students do. They take a gap semester in the 4th semester and do an internship, which is also a nice way to get a foothold in the German job market even before you finish your studies. Students doing that will then write their master's thesis in the 5th semester. So that's the typical case. And as I said before, our graduates do have excellent career prospects. And I have brought some figures from our last alumni survey. And you can see that 84% of MPMD graduates find a job within 6 months. About 80% of our graduates earn more than 50,000 euros per year as a gross salary income, and 28% earn even more than 80,000 euros per year. Roughly 90% work in data analysis or project management based on the qualifications they acquired in the MPMD study program. And again, roughly 90% of our graduates work in Germany at least for a couple of years before they might move back to their home countries or move on to other parts of the world. So another specialty, as I said, is that you can study our program both online and on campus. So how does this work? There are real-time lectures on campus, which are simultaneously streamed as interactive videos. So you can either come to campus and join class, or you can join class online in a video conference, such as you are joining now. There are case studies and group work, either in a hybrid mode, so in parallel on campus and online, like in mixed student groups, or you have them on campus and online in parallel. And the whole program is also accompanied by self-paced online material with videos, readings, self-tests, etc., to support you in learning at your own speed and as fast as possible. So if you're interested, you might want to know what the requirements are. I already said that you need a bachelor's degree with 180 ECTS, but not necessarily in data science or project management. And we do have quite a number of career changes, people who started working and realized that nowadays most fields do need data and are data driven, and who want to advance their career by becoming experts in this field. So it is possible, and many of our students who come from different fields and other fields are very successful. Yeah. So that's one requirement, bachelor's degree. Then the next requirement is 1 year of postgraduate work experience. You need to be fluent in English, obviously, since the study program is taught in English. And you need to be motivated to be able to follow the study program as best as possible. Our application period has already started for the next winter semester. It's running to 28th of February, so it's ending very early, which is true because most of our students come from abroad, and to give them enough time to apply for their visa and prepare for coming to Germany and to Berlin, we send out the acceptance notes very early. And if you need any more information on the admission process, you can always contact our admission team at the email that you can see at the bottom of the slide, and also on our website. You will find all the information that I'm telling you now, and also the online application form. Apart from our program, there's of course the whole university at your fingertips, with all the student services such as electronic library, PC pools, software packages, canteens, sports, etc., etc. As a University of Applied Sciences, we also have a career center and a startup competence center for students who plan to start their own business, which is not so unusual at the HTW Berlin. And for international students, we we offer special services. We have an international office and also program offices for all the international masters. So these are people like me, which I am actually a program manager in a program office for the MPMD program that I'm presenting now. And I have very competent and friendly colleagues for our other international programs. And for you, this means that you will always have one person or one place to go to with all the questions you might have, be it about the program or HTV or anything to do with visa, staying in Berlin, etc., etc. So the long and short of it is really that we try and take very good care of you. Also, we offer optional events, outings for our students. For example, you can see here the picture of our infamous canoe outing, which we do every summer with the MPMD. And we also offer other events to connect you with the other students and also with international students from other programs at HTW Berlin. So this is the end of the presentation, and you can find here again the contact details for our program, the MPMD website, also the application website, the link, direct link to the alumni survey that I mentioned before. And there's more numbers if you want to look at what our alumni are doing after the program. That would be a good start. And also, of course, the website with the MPMD student experiences, where some of our graduates will let you know on how they, why they studied the MPMD program, what they found especially worthy about the program and what they're doing now. And if you have any questions, as I mentioned before, just contact our admission team, and we will be really happy to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the details, all the information. I tried again to help dear attendees. All the mentioned contact details and direct links are also in chat. So if you don't want to wait until Monday, feel free to open them already now. Okay, now last but not least, we go to the University of Potsdam, where another Master's in Mathematics program is being taught, and Professor Dr. Alexandra Carpentier will be presenting it today. So yeah, I give the floor to her and again move to the background.
Thank you very much for the very nice welcome. It's my pleasure today to have the opportunity to present to you the master program of the University of Potsdam, which is a master program in mathematics. But first, I would like to introduce myself shortly. So I am a professor of mathematical statistics and machine learning in this program. And I am also the student advisor in this program. So if you have questions regarding admission, feel free to contact me. Contact details will be a little bit later. Before jumping in the description of the program, I would like to quickly present Potsdam and the university. So Potsdam is a very nice city, which has a few very nice features. So first, it's a city which is at the same time very green, but also has a very rich history. It's very beautiful. It has many lakes, many parks and palaces. So it's really something that is also worth a visit, even if you don't want to study there. The nice thing when you study there is that it's both safe and friendly, and it's medium size. And you really have the advantages of a place which is a bit more remote, with also the large city advantages, because it's really close to Berlin as well. So it's like maybe half an hour by train. Potsdam itself is rather a short distance city, which is where it's easy to cycle and to go through. University of Potsdam is a university which is a young university in Germany, so it was founded in the 90s, and it is ranked first among these young university. It's a very international university, so we have students from almost 130 countries, and we have a campus which is located, so the main campus is located right next to UNESCO World Heritage Sites, so namely the Palais Sans-Souci and the 𝘱𝘀𝘳𝘪𝘳. So it's close, it's just next to the 𝘱𝘀𝘳𝑓𝑓, and Sans-Souci is really close. We have cooperation with many international research institutes, and in particular, this is the case of the Department of Mathematics. I will discuss it. And we are in the EDUC program, which also offers quite a lot of nice opportunities for students. I will describe that a little bit later. The University of Potsdam itself, in terms of organization, is organized around 3 main campuses. The campus Sans-Souci at 𝘱𝘀𝘳𝘪𝘳, which is the one on the historical sites. The campus 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥, which is the one where you have the Institute of Mathematics and where the lectures of the Master of Mathematics take place, and the campus Ksheebnitze. You also have 7 faculties, and the Department of the Institute for Mathematics is in the Faculty of Science. Now regarding the master studies in mathematics. So as mentioned, it's the master program in mathematics. And the way that it works is that you have 3 course choice in 4 domains, which revolve around algebra, analysis, stochastics, and numerics. So these are the 4 pillars of study. So personally, as a professor of statistics and machine learning, I'm mostly active in this pillar. But of course, you have many very interesting lectures in the 3 other pillars as well. And on top of this, basically, it is expected that you take an additional topic, which can be either in mathematics, if you want to really specialize in mathematics, but also it could be in other disciplines, for instance, cognitive science, computer science, biology, physics, etc. So there is a list of such topics which you can study in order to specify your profile a bit more. There is also a master thesis and several other smaller essays which have to be done in the context of the master, as well as the possibility of doing internships and stays abroad in other universities with whom we have partnership, for instance, in an Erasmus program. So when you choose your lectures in the 4 domains, what you typically want to do is to profile yourself according to some specific direction. And we propose to guide you 2 main possibilities, which are a profile which is more in core pure mathematics, so mathematics inspired by physics, where it's mostly revolving around algebra and analysis, and one which is more oriented toward data science, which is mathematical modeling and data analysis, and where the idea is to go more in the direction of data science and machine learning. Of course, these profiles are then not rigid. You have many possibilities to hybrid your own profile as you want in order to go in a direction that is more relevant for you. What I would like to also mention, which is not written here, but more in terms of possibilities during studies in Potsdam, is that we have collaborations with many other research institutes, in particular in France, with the University of Rennes, and also soon of Paris, Nanterre, but also in Spain and in Italy. And we have had several students who did short abroad stays or also longer ones, either as an Erasmus, in an Erasmus program, or more generally just for a month or 2 in an internship. We also offer the possibility of following in an online way lectures in some partner university as part of the EDUC program. So, for instance, we have a strong collaboration with Rennes currently, and we are trying to build one also with Nanterre. So there is a possibility of following lectures from other universities while studying in Potsdam. And interestingly, what you also have in Potsdam is an agreement with all universities in Berlin. So you can also graduate in Potsdam and follow lectures from universities in Berlin to complete your cursus if there are some lectures in Berlin which we do not offer in Potsdam and which are relevant for you. So the impact of that is that you really have a very large portfolio of lectures, because in effect, you have in the agreement which I mentioned, 3 universities in Berlin, the TU, the FU, and the HAU, and the University of Potsdam. Now more regarding some practical informations. So the master is in English. It revolves around 120 ECTS, and the classical study duration should be 2 years. Although, to be fair, as a student advisor, I have mostly seen people studying for a little bit longer, and there is no problems with that. And this is particularly the case for students who do an internship or who do an abroad stay. Our program is flexible because it's possible to start it either in winter or in summer. And there are no tuition fees. Also, there are some semester fees of, I think, this year, this amount pro semester. If you want to apply to our program, I will give a link a little bit later, but it's made through Studentplatz portal. So there is a link if you just look at the description of the program. What is required is a bachelor degree in mathematics or comparable, for instance, in physics with a large component of mathematics. So morally, it really builds on 180 ECTS in mathematics. And what you also need is B2 in English. The deadline for applying are either this one if you want to apply for the winter semester, or this one if you want to apply for the summer semester. So here is a link where you can find basically all information regarding applications to the program, and also the content of the program. And you can also contact me if you have any further questions. Just to come back a little bit now at some practical information regarding Potsdam. Life in Potsdam is not as cheap as in some part of Germany, but cheaper as in some others. So it's a little bit in between. And here is a kind of like estimator based on some studies that was made, I think, last year on students, of the average cost per month, of studying in Potsdam. So that would be like a bit less than 1,000 euros. There are possibilities to fund your studies also, either regarding BOFOC or some student jobs, either as VAK or some others, and also some scholarships. And regarding now the housing situation in Potsdam, there are several student dormitories in Potsdam, but also some owned by private companies. And if you are interested, I would recommend that you apply very early, because the housing market in Potsdam and Berlin is right now quite tense. So I would recommend to start looking early. In Potsdam, we also offer, if you want, it's not mandatory for the program in mathematics, some German lectures in order for you to learn German. But as mentioned, this is absolutely not a requirement for our master program. Now more in terms of student life, our university offers quite a lot of things, and in particular on the campus 𝘗𝘢, in terms of sports, in terms of also some programs which can help you to arrive. And also we have like a welcome center, which is not listed here, and some other services which can help you get sorted in our university. So here are again some further programs which can be helpful for settling in particular the welcome center, which is particularly helpful for new students, international. And finally, yeah, I would like to emphasize that we are always very happy in the master mathematics to have new interested students, because we are a quite small program, so that the ratio of professor over student is very, very good. And we are happy on every new student that we have, and we can give them quite a lot of personalized attention. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor. Another very interesting presentation, another interesting program. So yeah, we are very good in time, and I believe we have time for the very fruitful Q&A. Thank you also, Dr. Stover, for taking questions in written as well. And now I will start with some of the questions that are for all. The very last one that came is specifically for Potsdam, but I think it could also apply for other programs. And it sounds like this. So I will read it out, and then one by one we could answer that if you want, of course. First is, since it's directed for the Potsdam, so I will ask Professor Carpentier to start, and then others could also follow. Can I follow up with a PhD at Potsdam? Do you have a classical PhD study program, or how does it work?
Yes, so thank you very much for the question. So absolutely, there is a possibility to follow as a PhD for students who are both very motivated and also excelling in their studies. So we don't have like a program as, for instance, in UK or US universities. It's not very common in Germany. What we do have is more like quite a lot of funding, either from the university or from the DFG. And then students would typically apply directly to a professor and get an offer if they meet the criteria. And then the student can decide whether they want to continue with the PhD program. So if you want to do a PhD at Potsdam, I would recommend you to come study at Potsdam. Then to approach professors in topics which are most relevant for you, and then they will get you from there.
Mm-hmm. Then maybe let's start with also Dr. Stover to address this for Bremen.
Yes, thank you. I agree completely with Professor Carpentier. Typically, PhD in Germany is done individually, not in a school like you may know from your home country. And as Professor Carpentier explained already, it's the best way to get a PhD position is to contact the most interesting professors. Interesting means fitting to you, to your competencies and everything. Being a PhD student in Bremen and maybe all over Germany in mathematics means not to receive a scholarship, but to be a regular employed person. So you are paid for performing your PhD. And in Bremen, we are looking for smart young people all the time, and all our professors are glad to receive interesting applications for a PhD.
All right. Professor Waurig, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I can only reiterate. But other than the subject, it also is very important to have a good personal relationship to your PhD supervisor, because if there's some problems there, then you can't resolve them with working together. So this is an issue that you also need to be taken care of. But yeah, in general, doing a PhD is a very personal matter, and it's more like things in Star Wars. So if you want to want to be a Jedi, then you need to learn with a Jedi.
Thank you. And Mr. Dallis? You are muted.
Sorry. As I mentioned before, HTW is a University of Applied Sciences, and typically you cannot do a PhD at a University of Applied Sciences since it's not a research-based university. But the MPMD, the Masters in Project Management and Data Science, is recognized as a degree that will qualify you for a PhD program. So you would have to look for another university to do your PhD, but you would be qualified, and students, some of our students have done that. So yes, it's possible, not with us, but in general, yes.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning it. This wasn't asked today, but frequently we get a question: if I graduate from University of Applied Science, do I qualify for further academic education? So yes, you do, and here's another proof, not only Nino mentioning it. All right. Another question is for Professor Dr. Wiedrich. Is the qualification interview for everyone, or only for those about whom you are not 100% sure? And let me read out the second question as well, and you could decide how to start. At Freiburg, are there opportunities to work on case studies involving real-world problems related to climate change or resource scarcity?
Answering the first question, well, it's actually those students who we think qualify best are taken to the interview. So it's not the other way around, where we are not 100% sure, but those guys where we are mostly sure that they can do it, and then we have this interview. But it's a very it's just basically confirming that your English is fine and your motivation is okay, and that your background knowledge in math is also decent, so that we can positively evaluate the chances of actually graduating. Because there's no point coming to a different country, investing loads of money, and then sitting at a study program where you don't stand any chance in actually graduating. And this interview is basically a means to make sure that graduation is more likely. So yes, it's the other way around. So most of the students actually get the qualification interview. And the real-world problems we have as part of a minor subject, a series of lectures given by people from also mathematics, but also more applied fields, and they present their techniques or their usage of mathematics. And so you're being exposed to things also related to resource scarcity and climate change issues. A professor of ours, who is a professor in hydrology, also gave a talk there, and then the students are expected to understand the mathematics of the method that is being applied, and then you get the first contact to the people actually doing it, and so you also get hand-on real-world applications.
Thank you so much. Question or two questions for
Nino,
sure, of course.
Interrupt you for a moment, because you mentioned somebody interested in climate change. In Bremen, we do have several really worldwide known institutes like the Marum and the Alfred Wegener Institute in Bremerhaven. And in mathematics, we are connected to them as well. So just to give one example, one of our master students, Luisa, got the chance to have a practical on the Neumayer station, which is the German station in Antarctica. So her topic for the master thesis was how to detect not earthquakes but ice quakes as early as possible. And working on that, she got the chance, as I said, to explore Antarctica in some sense. So if somebody is interested in climate change, in environmental physics, and mathematical methods for that, Bremen might be a good opportunity for him or her.
Thank you so much. I will just also post the link to Marum in case somebody wants. Thank you. Now two questions for Ms. Sedelis. They are as follows. I'm curious about the final semester, as this is a University of Applied Science. Is a master thesis focused more on academic research or solving practical industry-based challenges? And the second one, yeah, you can go ahead and then I will read the second one.
Okay. The latter. Usually, they are very practical programs. Many of our students actually do an internship with a company, and then also write their thesis with a company, and solving problems that the company has. And typically this will also lead to a job offer. So yeah.
Thank you. And the second question is, how many recommendation letter do I need to attach for applying MD program? Will it have any difference if the recommender from academic or professional background?
You can attach both a recommendation letter from an academic institution and from your working background. If you have very many good recommendations, just send them to us. We're happy to read them.
Then you're definitely in the program.
And also, if I might add this, we do get quite a number of applications. We cannot accept everybody, and it does help us if you write a motivational letter. Don't let it be written by ChatGPT by just entering the program details. This is not helpful for either you or us. Just look at the program and think about why this would be the program you want to study, and tell us that. That's what we are interested in, because that will also give us a chance to glimpse your motivation and understand whether you are really interested in that program. Of course, feel free to let ChatGPT help you, but don't let ChatGPT take over. Tell us your thoughts and your motivation.
Thank you so much. Yes, I can also agree. Your motivation letters are read through the attendees, and I was also applying for a German university, and motivation letters. So every sentence of my motivation letter was partial, like almost known by heart. So it was really nice to see that people do really read. So invest time in that. I would recommend. Dr. Stover, you already answered questions in the written form, but since it's visible to only the ones that answered it, maybe it could be others to hear the ones about the previous knowledge of software, MATLAB, Python. So I wanted to ask if there are any extra workshops or labs available, maybe to improve these skills environment.
Depends a little bit on what you are looking for. To improve your competencies, you can do this and you will do this and you must do this all the time during the lectures and the seminars, and in particular for the modeling project and the master thesis in the end. And we expect our students to have some experience in programming before they arrive in Bremen. It can be Python, which is top for some years now, but could be in MATLAB, could be in C++ or what else. If you have some experience in programming, you will be able to learn, for example, Python very, very quickly. And you will need this, as I said, in almost every lecture, seminar, modeling project, etc. So we do not have special programming workshops or events. Students are expected to have experience and to learn more on the road.
Thank you. Another question already answered also by Professor 𝘱𝘢𝘕 was about the background with application of background with physics. And then you in presentation did mention that the staff student ratio is really good, but maybe you could once again add on something on that.
Yeah, I think you clearly summarized the answer to this. So it is possible to apply with a master, a bachelor in another discipline very close to mathematics. But what is important is one is really able to prove that one has competence in core knowledge in mathematics for the master in Potsdam. And when it comes to accessibility of faculty members, I would say that it is really good because we have a small program and we are actually very happy to have students who are interested. So we take time when we have some students like this.
Thank you. And maybe the last question for today is for Professor Wollrich, is about technical thing. Proof of background knowledge, do you need course descriptions as an application document?
I'm not so sure what this question really refers to. If you want to provide information on how your mathematical background is, then of course your bachelor's degree is showing this much, and the qualification interview is supposed to assess this, whether this is enough or not. So the course description for all the courses that you did in your bachelor's degree certainly are. So if every student would provide these, the people from administration would be a little bit mad at us if we if we ask every student to do that. So no, the course descriptions are not necessary. We have other means to judge whether your mathematical abilities are all right or not.
Great, thank you. Because my internet connection was a bit not stable today, unfortunately. The question which came earlier, I see it now, about scholarships for HTW, which will be for outstanding applicants, and if there are opportunities to focus on business-oriented applications of data science. So this is for Ms. Dedelis.
HTW or the program does not offer scholarships themselves, but you can apply for scholarships from DAAD, for example. And if you contact us, we will give you the details, or maybe Nino will post them. In some countries, there's also scholarship programs from your country. We do get quite a number of students who join the program with scholarships from their own country, from Colombia, for example. I think, yeah, the last question is really a repeat of an earlier one. Yes, you can, in your master's thesis, you are encouraged to work on a practical problem. Absolutely. We also, our professors, you can either think of something that you are interested in, or maybe you do an internship or have some contact to a company that approaches you with an idea of what they want to get done with your help in the master's thesis. And also our professors will also give you suggestions and contacts for possible practical master thesis subjects, if you want. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Then I thank once again everybody for your time and contribution to this webinar. The attendees, thank you for the interest. I hope it translates into very qualifying applications to study programs, and you start your semester somewhere in Germany next semester. One suggestion or repetition of a suggestion would be that start the applications as soon as you can. Don't wait until the very last moment, and do invest your time into preparing this application. Get ready for the interview, motivation letter, etc., etc. But it's not only repetition of everything you hear. It's really because those people will take time to carefully read through your application. So yeah, if you really want to start, then you need to also invest your time and efforts in that.